Hey everybody, hope it's going well. Let me try and set that light. That's a bit better. Hey everybody, good to see you. I thought I'm just going to try YouTube Live itself today because of that time delay on StreamYard. I really hope it's working well. Let's see, I hope the messages are going to show. Hey Pat Nash Shill, good to see you. Good to see everybody here. To my homepage. How are you all doing today? I'm glad everybody could make it. Please do let me know if the messages do show up on screen or not, because I'm not seeing anything at this moment. I'm going to have to try read maybe off the laptop then. Let's see if it works that way. Whoa. Almost fell. What's going on? Okay, let's see who's here. Hey Jeff, good to see you. Hey Cleary, nice to see you. And Paid Nash Shill, great. Okay, I'm going to have to read the messages then off on there because I'm on this normal live stream off on the YouTube. I'm not using any app or anything, so I'm trying that because there's always some weird delay on Streamlabs for some odd reason. So if you guys would be able to, just let me know if there is a time delay with the sound or not. That would be great. Thank you. Nice to see you and say nice to show. Great. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to have to read the messages then off on there because I'm on this normal. Okay, from my side it doesn't look like there's a delay though, so that's a good start. Good to see 7 people in, well 6 now. Thanks for all joining. I decided yes to have it a bit earlier again today because I'm gonna have a hectic day ahead of me, and yeah. So let's get housekeeping over the way. My PC should be here soon because my funds should be in my account tomorrow hopefully, or the latest Tuesday. I found another PC yesterday, the parts and stuff, that is actually better than the other one for a bit cheaper. I'm waiting to hear back from Nathan if I should take that one or the other one. So as soon as he says, then we can look at that. The reason I'm waiting to hear because there's some pros and cons of the new one compared to the other one. The newer one that I see, it's got a newer graphics card which is built in 2017. It's the Radeon RX 550, which also has full encoding and everything. And the older GPU from the other one had the GeForce TI. So that was 2014 or something. So also really both of them are good. The drawback from the older one computer was I'd have a smaller hard drive, a 250 gig I think. The newer one I'd have a 500 gig, which is a better start, and obviously it's also 8 core, and I would also be having 16 gig RAM instead of 8 gig RAM. The older one only had the 8 gig RAM and the 250 gig hard drive. So I'm just waiting to hear back from Nathan to see which one he thinks is better to go. The drawback from the new one is though the motherboard is not as great as the older one. Yeah. Okay, so it's good to see everybody. Hey Patrick Shank, good for joining. Thank you that you showed up. It's good to see you in the excuse me, in the chat. And Anrama, great to see you guys here as well. How are you guys all doing? I'm glad you all made it. Today we're going to be talking about Coriolis. And before we do that, please just do hit that like, because I know that's what all the top YouTubers probably do. They ask for the like before they start the show, because it does help to push the show out. And if you haven't already, just share it, please. Thank you very much for everything you guys do and help support this show. Okay, let's get to it. Do any of you observe Coriolis drift in our everyday lives of Earth? Well, frankly, I have not seen any Coriolis deflections anywhere, any Coriolis effect or force, as people like to put it. Hey, Kikizaz, Seabass, good to see you. he's one of the patrons of the support of the show, so definitely a great shout out to him. If it's not for him, I wouldn't be able to be saving up for the next equipment we need. It's good to see you. Glad you guys could make it. And yes, I agree. There is no Coriolis drift observed. Hey Kevlar, good to see you too. I'm also glad you could make it. Thanks for joining. It's good to see so much happy people in here today. And yes, I have started banning soccer count trolls, which I think you guys have realized is starting to make the chat much more bearable and better for my actual audience. So thank you guys for sticking around, and yes, you guys are more than happy. I'm more than willing to be happy if you mods can. If a troll shows up with a soccer count and gets harassing and doesn't heed the warnings, you can just say bye-bye, because I think enough is enough. Yeah, because look how they've been harassing this channel this last how many months. My patience has gone with them. Hi Jeff, happy to see you. Thanks for joining again. 14 people already so early. Oh, that's a good thing. It's a good start. It's good to see everything's at least looking okay and sounding okay. Only thing is I have to read my comments there, so I'm going to be looking kind of squint today or something. Okay, so yeah, Coriolis effect. One thing I've also realized with Coriolis effect though, when it comes to Earth-based though, like the people like to, what's the first argument the globers like to bring up? But hurricanes, they spin in opposite directions. Or will they ignore the reason why it actually spins in opposite directions? If you go and look how the wind currents are formed on Earth, what happens when you take a pool of water and you swish it? Where does that vortex happen? It happens away. So that's how it's going to happen with the wind currents. The other thing they don't understand is, why do you get tornadoes that spin opposite to what their claim spin should be? I've seen tornadoes here in South Africa that spin totally bonkers other way than what they are claiming. So yeah, and water down the sink. That's the most rubbish argument I've ever seen from them. It's the most ignorant argument, I would say. I can take the same basin, same water, it's just how you throw it. So if I throw it in this way, it's going to. If I throw it at an angle that way, it's going that way. It's all about the angle of incident. The incident angle of the water comes in, that's the way it's going to spin around. It's just the old parlor trick. And yes, we do get those arguments still. One thing you would also have to have with the Coriolis is deflection, actual seeing the deflection. Now, if they come and say, okay, it's only 15 degrees an hour. At my lat, it's supposed to be quite a substantial amount. I mean, I do not see things being deflected around 400 meters a second. That's insane. I mean, yesterday I was at the airfield because we had a festival and there was easily like 30 planes there. Before we went back to the festival, I just quickly went to stop there for the kids so they can see, and while the one plane was going up to fly up, I didn't see any deflection with that plane. I mean, if it's 480 meters a second, that plane could just go up and, well, the airport can move away from it. It doesn't really need to do much. It would save so much on fuel if it just turns around and goes the opposite way of the spin. We do not see that. It's crazy. We go, I mean, even here we got a lot of balloon flights and stuff. So when the people take the hot air balloon flights, they do not see any deflections. The only thing that moves them around is the wind. The wind alone debunks Coriolis, because wind comes in all directions. It's going all over. If they're saying that the Coriolis is causing the wind to go a certain way, then it can only go one way. It doesn't do that. So yeah. And then that brings me to, I don't know if you guys watched the Foucault pendulum video from Mitchell from Australia. Shout out Mitchell. Brilliant, brilliant video. You've really got some butthurt anti-flat earthers, that's for sure. What I found really, truly amazing. Hey PJC Net, good to see you. Glad you could join. Thank you for coming on the show. we can actually go through some of the excuses that the anti-flat earthers came up with against his Foucault pendulum video, which I found very, very sad, because the video has got anti-flat earthers going, especially Mr. Sensible. Yes, true. I was actually on Mr. Sensible's live stream text while he was having the live stream to try and make excuses for it. Unrema, okay. Jeff, airplanes fly straight and level controlled by gyroscopes. Yes, because gyroscopes is in free space. It's amazing that they think that now gyroscopes and stuff somehow account for Coriolis drift. But yeah. Okay, like I say, the excuses that these guys came up with, are they excuses where they tell me he built it himself, even though it was at the Science Museum? The string was not long enough. The circle was not long enough. The weight was probably not heavy enough. It wasn't the right type of shape. The pivot wasn't correct. And how do they know he actually was there for 4 hours he just changed his time on his phone? That's the kind of arguments we've been getting from him. And then just, nah, he's dishonest, it's a parlor trick. That's what we got. So, is that's the arguments the guys give, instead of going, listen here, yes, he went actually to a science museum and put to the test what was claimed, and so it wasn't doing what was claimed. Therefore, there's no drift, which is apparent. I mean, I'm in South Africa. I think there is, they said there's like 4 pendulums in South Africa or something, and I've never seen one of them actually deviate ever when they are actually functioning, because they don't really function, because as in South Africa, things don't really function like it's supposed to. Yes, power outages, because you know it usually works with a pulse to get it moving. If you really had spin and you had an actual deflection, you wouldn't need to keep having that movement man-made. It wouldn't be there. You would just lie it down, you can just have it going there, and it should go, because now it's moving on its own movement with the earth moving underneath it. That's how it's supposed to work. But no, they still have to put spark into the movement so it can go up and down, otherwise it would just stop. That alone debunks the whole argument. Mitchell is going back for pin comment. Mr. Sensible had paid him. I know, Mr. Sensible paid him so he can do it. If people can't discern the sun is in motion or the earth is in motion, I don't see much hope for humanity. Exactly, Amrama, I agree totally. If you go stand outside, you see it's the sun moving across the sky. You have to be totally insane to think, okay, it's not the sun moving, I'm moving. What happens when you go stand next to a train track and you see a train coming by? Are you saying you're the one moving to the train, or is the train coming to you? It's the same thing. You don't observe yourself moving towards the train, you observe the train moving towards you. It's the same with the sun. Actually, all the luminaries in the sky, everything, it's movement to you across the sky. Yeah. So there's so much things wrong with the Coriolis claim that it's just sad. And that's why when they come with conservation of angular momentum, you ask them, okay, is it angular momentum or linear momentum? And they don't know the difference. Or you ask them, okay, how does it work? Is this momentum continual slow momentum? Because conservation is not forever. You've only conserved momentum for a certain amount of time. It doesn't consistently stay conserved. I mean, let's take an example. A car driving 100 km an hour down a highway. It stops, has to pull up the handbrake and hit those brakes. What's happening? It's conserving momentum. It's pressed brakes, but it's still going across. It's conserving momentum until it had to stop. It's used up all its momentum. There's no more conservation of momentum. It will not just ski forever and ever and ever. We live in a friction world. Everything has friction. You use up the energy. Also, another problem they have with it is they believe the air has to move with the earth, obviously. I think we've made that very clear that that's just bullshit, because if you go outside, you look at wind going in different directions, even tornadoes going in opposite directions already gets that. Colin Dresser, they have no clue on research relativity all day. You can tell a baller anything he hasn't been told. Exactly, Colin Dresser, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Very true. They don't want to listen. That is the problem. They can't. Yes, they can't. They can't understand. I can go on a merry-go-round and I can say, yes, I'm in motion. When it stops and I get off, I say I am not moving. Correct. Exactly. You will know if you're actually moving or not. Hey, Gaz, good to see you. Glad you could make it, dude. Hey, Patrick, glad you were enjoying the points here. Guys, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Patrick. By the way, Patrick Shank was one of my first ever subscribers to the Flat Earth. Ever. I actually found him on Facebook before I even started on YouTube. So I've been with that guy with like years and years. So he's definitely one of the guys to stick around. I'm going to put a link for his channel in the description below after the show. Please do subscribe to him. He's really got great content, and the way he brings out the information is brilliant. So keep up the great work, Patrick. I really do enjoy your content. Yes, exactly, Kick-Ass. They hear, but they don't listen. It goes in the one ear and goes out the other ear. It's probably because there's nothing in between. Hey, 17 people, that's quite good. Yeah, so what else you guys want to know about Coriolis? Oh yes, they don't know the difference between Coriolis force and Coriolis effect. The thing is, you claim to have a Coriolis effect of Earth. The reason this is because you're supposed to see an actual apparent deviation. We don't see it, so therefore you can't claim an effect. Now, they claim there's a force, that's why you have the hurricanes, because of the deflection, the actual deflection they call it. But like we said, it goes opposite directions as well. I know when I was taught in school, how does storm cells start? It's simply got to do with the topography. The air is moving across the land. It's heated, it gets cold air and hot air, and then it's moving across the water. Now what happens with hot and cold air? Heat rises across the warm water, and because the cold air is coming across, because of the wind, it picks up and it starts a vortex. Thus it creates a cyclone. Hey Tom, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Thanks for joining. It's good to see so much people coming in. Very, 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 very appreciative to all of you that do show. If you haven't already, please just hit that like button and share button. It really does help. So yes, like I was saying, it goes and it creates a vortex, and thus it creates the cyclone over the ocean. Now it's already got its motion spinning. Why is it still spinning that way and moving across? Because the air is still pushing it from the one direction. Air currents. We have jet streams on Earth. That's why it's moving. That's why you get the ones in the northern hemisphere and the ones in the southern hemisphere moving the way they do. It's very simple. The way our land is constructed on Earth, and the way the wind currents come, and the way you have temperature inversions, that's how you have your storms. It's got nothing to do with Coriolis. Doesn't matter how much these people tell you, listen here, it's Coriolis. It's just them spewing their religion belief because they have to make an excuse up for them. They have to come up with an idea to keep the people entertained and keep them into their religion. It's how it works. It's a preaching. It's a message from their Bible. It's a shame that mankind has allowed a globed religion into our schools. What a bunch of religious fundamentals. Kevin, unfortunately, that's the sad truth. Especially these last 100 to 200 years, they've been pushing the globed religion in. I know my great-grand, when she was a little girl, she told me they actually taught her flat earth. I mean, yeah, okay, she's dead now, quite a few years now, but I mean, she died at like 115. She was quite old. She was taught flat earth. So that tells you something. I mean, there's even Dirth, David Weiss, he had an interview with Edie or something. She was always taught flat earth at school. That's why I come and I say history is not actually what you were taught. It's a fabricated lie. It's just fabricated so you can think what's going on. Look at Aristotle. Is there actual evidence that he even existed ever? No. The actual documentation of him burnt away, apparently. It doesn't exist. They have to fabricate history to make it look like it was always there. Doesn't work that way. One thing that is very telling to me, though, if we look back throughout the ages, through every civilization, everybody has different cosmologies that never ever knew about each other, never communicated, but their cosmologies, they all have the same basic found principle core. They all had the same. Dome around, giants, tree in the middle, you could say, creation, and the stars moving across. Why is it that every civilization in history is now all of a sudden just wrong because you get some ball-loving idiot coming along and saying, listen, yeah, I choose to be a sun worshipper, I love balls, so therefore the rest of humanity is wrong. What's the logic in that? It's Kabbalah black magic. Exactly, and remember, it's just Kabbalah black magic. It's still part of the Babylonian times, that's all. Babylon is coming back. Yeah. I mean, it's all just religion-based. Is there any other things we can actually talk about Coriolis? Because it's quite, it's quite just cut and dry paste. It's not really a difficult thing to talk about. Let's see. I mean, like I did with my balloon demonstration like 2 years ago, where it took me forever to get a balloon to sit in one position in the room. I mean, if a little air just touched it and something, it would start to swivel about. But I actually hung it up in my child's bedroom, made sure I closed the windows, just taped around the edges and stuff so the wind doesn't come through. And I put putty on it, you know, I put little putty off to get it, just to get balanced. It took me like an hour and a half just to get it balanced. Then what I did is, I had a reference sticker on the window. I took the camera and I stuck it like this to look, so I could see the sun's movement across the sky. So I could see, listen here, if there was Coriolis drift, that balloon should be moving with the sun's path, because it said we moving, not the sun. That shows it was the sun moving and not us, because the balloon stayed there. What was the Glover's argument? No, I was cheating. I somehow stuck it to a wall or something, even though I showed it wasn't close to a wall, nothing. I showed up and down. Just because it went like this, when I sped it up, it means now it was stuck to a wall. It was pivoted. Very weird. And then you get Slice Barcade that tries to mimic it, which is really done badly, by the way, because you can see he did like 2 minutes. And he couldn't get it right because he's actually an idiot. He couldn't get it right, so he says, I couldn't get it right. That's how they think. So I'm probably going to have to do it again sometime. I think I'll do it in the garage, actually. So, yes, stay tuned. I'll probably do another video of that again. Because it's very possible to make a balloon just stand still. It just takes a lot of patience and a lot of planning to make it stay in one position, as easy as that. And then the other argument is the air inside is moving with it, that's why it's not moving. Yeah, but I mean, you can put a balloon in a car and you can drive around, it's swashing around all over the place. Yeah, okay. Imagine being an adult and believing mathematical calculations are the same as measurements. Exactly, Kevlar. They do not understand the difference between measurement and calculations. I've seen this with every topic brought up from them. That's why when they say Aristotle took his stick measurement and measured the earth, it wasn't a measurement of earth, it was simply a calculation based on a presupposition that it's a globe. The only measurement made was the length of the shadow, which was a 90 degree, by the way, on a horizontal plane. And then they took that shadow length and distance that they knew and said, okay, therefore because we think Earth is a sphere, therefore this is the radius. It's not measured. That's calculated. And that's all based on assumptions. It's the same when they come with their Cavendish experiment. It's not an experiment, it's simply just a demonstration of torque. It's torsion twist. And then they take that little oscillation, because of the torsion twist created by the torque, and saying, look, yeah, now we've got the constant. Now that means it's got to be measured. It's not measured anything. You just calculated and then had presuppositions based on that. I don't know how much more clearer I can make it to these guys. So yeah. Good to see you all again. Happy you could join us. Okay, what else can we talk about with Coriolis? Yes, pendulums. Also again, I think it was even Einstein that said you would not be able to have any experiment or demonstration to prove Earth's rotation. So why would a globe come and say a pendulum proves rotation? Patrick, if Cavendish was real, they could also replicate small-scale orbit, but they can't. Exactly, they can't replicate any type of orbit, Patrick. The problem these guys have is they threw away their gravity as a force when they brought in Einsteinian gravity. When they brought in relativity, they threw away their force. And orbit, so what happens is you require a force to have an acceleration. If you throw away your force, how are you going to have an acceleration to have your orbit? So they're taking something that's fundamentally true. I've put energy into this. I've created a force and I've thrown it. I've thrown it. It's got acceleration because I've forced it. I put a force into it. They take it away. They just say, well, no, hang on. You're seeing an effect without actually having a force. This effect is taking place in a construct that doesn't exist. It's a man-made construct like time and space, which doesn't exist. It's literally just a mathematical construct made. It's a concept. They take that and they say, well, this made-up concept is bending in this other made-up concept in a fourth dimension that we cannot observe because we live in three-dimensional space. Wow. If that's not insane, then I don't know. Because to me that defies all logic of thinking everything's fine. I mean, if I was some kind of, if I had to go to a doctor and tell him, listen here, doctor, I'm controlling your mind right now because I have bending time space. I've got time delay issues. So you are actually under my control. Do you think he's going to go and just accept you? No, he's probably going to lock you up. We've got the place called Groendakkies. It's for insanity people. That's where these anti-flat earthers belong, actually, because they are mentally not really sound up here. Hey, Jess Palmer, good to see you. I'm glad you could join us. Yeah, it's good to see everybody here. Once again, you guys are awesome. It's so nice to actually have a nice, great conversation here. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I'm more than happy to change the subject a bit or whatever. If you have any more questions about Coriolis, because I see there's not any flat earthers in here today to actually preach their nonsensical rubbish. So that's quite cool. So we can actually just have a relaxing conversation. So yes, as soon as my PC is up and running, I am definitely going to start having little chats and stuff. I was thinking maybe on Wednesday nights or something, actually open chat rooms on my Discord channel for chats. And then on the weekends, like I said, to the patrons and stuff, or if someone wants to come and debate, then they can come and we can debate kind of thing. And yes, it still stays to become a patron to debate Brenda and Mattoon and Ruhuf and whoever, because it's just $3. Come on, support the channel. It's a benefit that the patrons have, and I think that the audience deserves it. If you guys really want to show you want to debate and not be chicken shit, you could probably just become a patron for a month. What's it going to do to you? I thought $3 is nothing. I thought it's cheap change. Because this is the same people that come and tell me, oh, Get a real job, then you can actually pay for things. Well, apparently this is a real job. That's what a YouTube creator is. It's a real job. Yes, and $3 is not much. It's just simply so I can put away to get better equipment for the show. As easy as that. Anti-FEs admit no flight time difference east-west but claim Coriolis. Exactly, kick-ass. They claim Coriolis but no flight time difference. This is when they come and they say, but if you fly from Joburg to Sydney, while they're ignoring every other argument we just put to them. It's simple. If you go up and the ground is moving underneath where you would be situated looking at that plane or whatever hovering, it would have deflection. You would be moving away like this while that's staying there. Now they say, no, that's not Coriolis. Coriolis means this one's supposed to move. Okay, fine. Let's say this is a pendulum. It's swinging. You're supposed to be moving away. So you are looking like it is moving like this in a circular motion away, because it's supposed to be having the apparent deflection. But it's not it moving in that apparent deflection. It's you moving away from it. That's how Coriolis effect works. Do we see this happen? No. Because like Kika said, plane would turn opposite direction of spin and just get there with no ease. No problem. Save on fuel, save on time, voila. But that doesn't happen. Why? Because Earth does not rotate. I think you can really, just think what a brilliant business you could make if you had to make up some kind of travel to float up in the air and not use any fuel to get to your destination. It's going to be a huge hit, a huge success. It's as easy as that. Baumgartner's balloon proved Earth not swinging. Exactly. Baumgartner's jump from space, wasn't really space, but yeah, he jumped. Armstrong, you're forgetting about the atmosphere. Okay, I'll get to that atmosphere again, Aaron. And no, we're not forgetting about it because we already spoke about it. When he jumped, I think he jumped over New Mexico and still landed in New Mexico. And that was, it took him, 3 hours to get up there? It doesn't work that way. We worked out he would have to be somewhere, I think it was over the Pacific Ocean or something at that time. And somehow he just landed almost where he lifted up. That proved wrong. Now, we get to Oren's question, Oren again. So good to see you, Oren. Thank you for joining. At least we got one brave anti-flat earther in here. Is atmosphere bonded, Oren? Let me answer you that. No. Atmosphere is not bonded. Does atmosphere move with anything? Oren? No, it doesn't. It's freely moving. Let's put it this way. This is the... okay. You got a little car. It's got air hitting around it all over. When it's moving, what is happening? The air around is bouncing off and going around everywhere. It's not going with the car. That gas... sorry, that gas that hit it is just deflecting away from it. It doesn't move with the car. It's like driving in... It's just hitting and bouncing away, in other words. So, if you're claiming that that air is moving with the Earth, that it goes against what gas is, goes against gas behavior, goes against all logic, and then you cannot claim Coriolis because Coriolis means it needs to have apparent deflection. Where's your deflection? You cannot claim it to have Coriolis if you can't see it because you're claiming it's moving with it. Okay, let's go. Bonded. What do you think bonded is? What do you mean, what do you think bonded is? Unbonded? That doesn't do. Bonded. It's now moving as one coherent fluid. What does the pouch of air that does get pulled behind? What about the pouch of air? Exactly, it's not... That is from the momentum of the car still moving. It's not staying... I'm going to try and draw it. Might be easier. It looks like a little rat. Oh well. This air still moving across the ground. It's going like this. That air that's moving there is not, the only conservation has is literally just till this about, and then it's used up its energy. It's not still moving, the car's still going on, but it's staying back here. It's not moving the whole time with it. It's not going to be consistently moving with the earth. It can't. It's the same when you take your hand with smoke and you wave it away. You see those little walls? Your hand's away, it's gone. But it's still just going and it goes the other way. That's how it does. I think it does. Okay, Aaron, you can think it does all you want. Don't use that does voice. Sorry, Aaron, I don't understand it. It's not a coherent sentence. Don't use that does voice. I think it does. He thinks so. Typo. Oh, okay. Sorry, okay. Oh, so you think it does move with it. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. No, sorry, Ari. Air does not move with it. It's not bonded. Air totally doesn't work that way. And like I say, if you claim the air does move with it, somehow Velcro to Earth, does that mean the air at higher altitudes is moving faster to keep up with the center of Earth than the ones lower? Because it has to have a greater tangential speed, obviously. So it's kind of nonsensical. That means that I can just go and hover, and I'm going to be going faster the higher I go up. What do you think about Bob's observation? Bob's observation is quite interesting, though. Many people have made different claims about it. He thinks it's the ether, but that's his own claim. I do not agree with that, though. I also do not agree it's the Earth spinning. What I do agree with is it's picking up electromagnetic waves. And you know you cannot isolate the electromagnetic waves totally. I mean, even, I don't know if you checked Good Times for All last night, where he took a Faraday cage and tried to show that you can't really block the electromagnetic waves going through with a Faraday cage. It's still got that poles going through. All the Faraday cage does is change the poles. So in other words, it's changing the current. So if the current's coming at a positive, it's changing it to a negative. It's just conducting it to another pole. That's all it's doing. It's still got the actual, how can you put it, current going through. It's just changed it so it doesn't affect whatever's inside the Faraday cage. It still goes through it. It still picks it up. So when they change altitude, obviously it's still going to change with the altitude, because we've seen that the static potential, you pick up the electromagnetic spectrum, picks up differently at different altitudes, because there is a different wavelength at altitude. So that's what I have to say about it. He said that the measurement was incredibly precise. Yes, and it does measure incredibly precise. And one thing that it also measures that you guys ignore is it shows light doesn't travel at the same speed. Yeah. Hi to all the new people that's come in and joined. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hitting that like button. You guys rock. I'm actually happy that it's working so well today. It sucks that I can't read any comments on here, though. I have to read it off my very slow laptop, so it's kind of very slow. But yeah, at least I can read something, or that helps a bit. 21 people. Oh, good to see you guys. Thanks for joining. If you haven't already, please do share the show. Do you have any more on the Coriolis, Aaron? Or do you want to talk about something else? Anybody else have any issues on things? I can try and explain. Like I said, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just giving what I do know. And yes, Faraday cages work or they wouldn't exist. Yes, Jeff, they work. Like I said, what it does is it literally just changes the pole. It changes the current. Yeah. So it's like, how do I explain it? If a positive hits the cage, it's not going to stay positive going through it. It literally changes the pole inside and goes, it becomes part of the current, you can say. That's why if someone's inside a Faraday cage, they're not going to get shocked with millions of volts and stuff, because it's conducting it to the outside of that cage to go through. But it still picks up something inside. Maybe I should do a more explanation video on it, because it's difficult to explain it. I actually have to draw it out and show it. How does light speed up after slowing down? Needs a force, exactly. It needs a force. Everything with acceleration needs a force, apparently. So why do they throw everything away if they think that their gravity now does not need a force to have acceleration? So they're just throwing physics away and throwing everything about Newton's laws of motion away to keep their theory alive, which is not actually scientific theory to begin with, because, I mean, we've been through this. To have science, you actually have to have an IV and a DV, and we have not seen any IV and DV for any of their claims. You can't have an IV and DV if the thing you're trying to prove is in Narnia, as Nathan would like to say. Yeah, so, agreed. To have acceleration, you require force. You cannot claim to have acceleration if you do not have a force. So when you throw your force away, you do not have an acceleration. And if you're seeing you have an acceleration, you say there's no force, that means it's something else creating acceleration, not your gravity. Very, very simple. It just shows your claim is false. It was falsified. Yeah. It's actually sad, though, that the people still think that gravity is supposed to exist. Micah Ray, good to see you. I'm glad you made it. Did you actually claim a Faraday cage works by conducting the change through the cage? Do you know what radio waves carry no change, right? No, I didn't claim that, Micah. I claimed that it changes the poles around the cage, because it conducts around the cage, not inside it. And yes, radio waves don't change, that's true. I was talking specifically about electromagnetic waves. Yeah, sorry, still just trying to read it off there. Hey Eric, good to see you guys. Dude, I'm glad you could make it, Eric. Thanks for joining. Oh, oi. Glad everybody could come in. And yes, if anybody was wondering, I really do enjoy making YouTube videos, and I'm going to try and do it full time one day, when I do get there. Yes, I know you just joined. I see it popped up 21 people up there, so thanks for joining, Eric. Come on, guys, 21 people, only 17 likes. What's going on? Hey, E-Money. Let's see, radio waves can't get through the cage. I don't know about that, Jeff. We should actually test that out to see if the radio waves get through the cage or not. Maybe it just deflects around it. Coriolis is the stupidest globe claim ever. I agree. Yes, smash that like, please, guys. I really, really do appreciate it. Jeff, do you think that we can maybe get Good Times for All to test it with radio waves? Because I'm kind of... I think I'm blocked with the whole Globebusters crew. I don't know why. I've never done anything to them. Because if I go on to the... Hey, Rob Ken, good to see you. I'm glad to see you. So if anybody would be kind enough to tell Bob and Good Times for All and Journalism and all of them or whatever, please to unblock me, because when I do try and chat to them, it doesn't seem my chats go through. And the funny thing is, I've never ever been ugly to them, never done anything to them. So I don't know why I would be blocked by them. So that's quite cool. So if anybody would be able to let them know, please unblock me so I can actually converse with them sometime. It would be quite cool. But like I said, I want to ask Good Times for All if he can maybe then test that out with the radio waves and things. I think it'd be quite a cool experiment or demonstration to uphold. Yeah. Make a ray. That is the whole point of the Faraday cage, to prevent radio waves from affecting things inside the cage. Yeah, but you just said it doesn't, the radio waves do nothing. doesn't change. So then you're making the cage obsolete. Or am I misunderstanding it wrong? 25 people, awesome. Okay, so what else? But yeah, that's kind of far away from the Coriolis argument, though. Let's see, what else can we talk about Coriolis? Rim velocity. One thing I also realized that the anti-flat earthers like to ignore is rim velocity, because they go and say it's just 1 degree an hour. Do you know how slow 1 degree an hour is? Yes, but you know the distance that 1 degree an hour has traveled. Do you understand the rim velocity of that 1 degree an hour? It's quite magnificent. Let's take it for example, a Bugatti Veyron. At full speed, it's maybe only going to hit about 280 meters a second, if it's lucky, and that's at full speed. According to what you guys are supposed to have with the rim velocity of your globe on the equator, we are looking around almost 480, 482 miles a second. That's double what a Bugatti Veyron does a second. Just to put into comparison. So you'll definitely notice that. Yes, definitely notice that. Make array, because you don't know how a Faraday cage works. It doesn't work by charges. It works by disrupting the waves through the... Maker, that's exactly what I said. It changes the poles. It disrupts the waves. It changes the poles. Don't misrepresent me just because you are butthurt because you want to claim I don't understand. I will actually make a video for you, okay, Maker, that I said I would. So please, if you've got nothing constructive to say, and actually keep to the topic now, okay, then I'm going to ignore you. It does change the poles. That's how flippin' Faraday cage works. It conducts the change of poles, positive to negative, because it pulls it around and pulls it the other way. That's why you get changes of poles. Have you ever even used the Faraday cage before, Micah? Okay. Okay, Faraday cage, its conductor. It's coming through. What happens? It changes the poles to negative. And that's why it makes it go around. And that's why it changes it. That's why you don't get the reading inside it, because it's supposed to be deflecting it. It changes from positive to negative. It creates a new pole. That's the most simplest way I can show you it now. But radio waves do not have positive or negative. Again, I was not talking about radio waves. Stop misrepresenting it. Electromagnetic waves. And again, I'm going to ask you for all to actually demonstrate it with radio waves for you. Because it doesn't change the band wave. It simply just deflects it. These people are, I don't understand how other people don't understand when you actually say something. Moet ek in Afrikaans vir jou praat? Moet ek in 'n ander taal praat dat jy kan my verstaan of iets? If I put subtitles there, it would mean, must I talk in Afrikaans? Must I talk in another language for you so you don't actually understand what I'm saying? Okay. So anyway, back to the actual discussion, away from Faraday cages, please. Coriolis drift. Do we observe it? No, we don't. Do people try and still defend it? Yes, they do. Why do they defend it? Probably a religious belief. So yes, it doesn't deflect anything. The waves cancels themselves out. So we changed it. Okay. Thanks, Kevlar. Yes. Please, can you guys explain to Micah, because I'm not going to explain to Mike anymore. It's just circle jerking around the whole time. Doesn't understand what the hell's going on. Okay. So, what else can we talk about with Coriolis? Anybody else got an idea? Okay, we can talk about the roundabout that they did with National Geographic. where they were throwing the ball across on the merry-go-round, did that ball actually deflect, or was it just them moving underneath with the ball? It seemed to deflect. No, the ball still went in a straight path. Them moving underneath made it look like it took a curved path, and then they can catch it. Why? Because that's what Coriolis deflection is. It's all just an effect. It's not actual. It's an apparent deflection. Yes, obviously it's going to have a bit of a tilt, but that's because of the little bit of conservation of momentum based on the force after throwing it. Because remember, when you are, let's say it's the ball, I'm throwing it, it's going to deflect like this because I'm moving away. And that's what has that little deflection, actual force deflection. Doesn't mean it's actually curving around. It's still going in a straight path. It just seems to make that it looks like it's curving around. Karma, 9,800. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Use a firing range at about 1 kilometer. Shoot directly west and east and compare your results, how bullet drops is affected. Sorry to Karma, sorry to harken up or break it to you. I live in rifle country, in the bush. There's a lot of shooting going around much further than a kilometer away, and we do not get Coriolis deflection. Sorry to tell you, we do take into account wind deflection and drop due to energy loss. You guys like to call it gravity, but we're just going to say it's energy loss because there's no such thing as gravity. That's how it works. When you're pointing it and you're shooting it, there's no deflection due to Coriolis whatsoever. If you really want to see, you can get yourself a Kerbal counter, and it's going to show you in its calculations there's no Coriolis taken into account. It literally is wind deflection and your pitch angle. Oh. So yeah, when these guys do come and say Coriolis, it's just guys parroting nonsense. And yes, there is a video going around from a guy saying where he put his rifle on the table, shot to a sandbag that side, turned around, shot to that. You know, the guy never even answered me back when I commented to his video, saying, I could see, first of all, you just placed it on the table, shot it to that sandbag, and you can see that sandbag is sitting higher than the one on the back. Yeah, we are not stupid. We weren't born yesterday. And just him picking it up and changing the direction already, he changes the tilt. I mean, that's why you got your little micrometer, so you can actually set your pitch, you can set everything. How do you even know the distances were perfect? This is really, really sad. I mean, when we have to, let's say, go shoot an animal in the bush, we don't first think, yes, okay, which direction am I sitting? Is this east, west? Oh, no, wait, I've got to quickly sit and quickly aim 10 degrees to the left because Coriolis is going to move. I have to shoot it in the head. No. You aim it at the flippin' animal and you say, shoot it. There's no such thing as Coriolis when it comes to shooting animals or anything. You guys are mentally insane. I'm sorry to tell you. It's just, I'm plain out telling you. You're mentally insane if you think Coriolis does anything. There's no such thing as Coriolis. Snowbirds, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Thanks for joining. I actually laughed. I think you guys did see it. It's an old comic by, well, who was it? Owen Benjamin with the Coriolis sniper. That was quite good. I think Nathan Oki also shared it a while back as well. The guy, it's exactly that. You don't sit and shoot thinking about Coriolis. No sniper in history does that. My father was a Green Beret. He was Special Forces. I promise you, he did not sit there and think, before I shoot a person, there is Coriolis involved. I practically grew up going, all my life, I grew up from military base to military base to military base. No one ever spoke about Coriolis, ever. Nothing. It's literally a religious belief. And when you get these guys coming with these manuals these days saying Coriolis is taken into account, he's talking shit. It's wind deflection. What if you're shooting east eastward, but there's a strong westward wind. Coriolis is... Exactly. Shout out to Globe Earth Coriolis snipers. I mean, think about it. Then what's the use of having a sniper if every time you have to sit there and do your Coriolis calculations before you can shoot someone? No, that's why you have a spotter with your sniper, because that spotter is sitting there and saying, this is the distance, this is the pitch, this is the wind deflection, this is your angle. There's no, this is Coriolis, this is the way you're shooting. Nothing. It's funny. It's funny. I mean, do you know even your bullet has what they call the Magnus effect? Even that changes more than your so-called Coriolis. It's really, really weird. Exactly. I mean, if you had to go and... That's what I say. I mean, like I said, I live in the bush. Practically, hunting happens every day here in the bush. There's no way someone is accounting for Coriolis to shoot anything. It's just, no. It's insane. I'm lost for words when it comes to people trying to tell me Coriolis is involved with sniping. Because yes, they're going to probably bring up some kind of manual again with some kind of guy written, oh yes, I've got Coriolis taken into account when I go teaching sniper rifle shooting. And when you go and actually do the actual thing, there's no such thing as Coriolis. There's nothing. Heck, even flight manuals and things tell you, stationary plane. You have to take in account you're on a stationary plane. Can it be more clear in your face? When you are flying or shooting, you have to take as if you're on a stationary plane. Does that mean you have to account for Coriolis while you're taking account you're on a stationary plane? It's contradictory terms. I mean, how difficult do you think it's going to be for you to shoot a moving target? Like I'm saying, when we got the animals in the bush running. That target is moving. I got to know, hello, it's running this side. I know I'm a shoot here because this is about the time it's going to meet up here. If I had to take into account Coriolis now as well, I'm never going to ever hit anything. Because the bullet's just going to deflect away before it hits anything. It's insane. I mean, we have shooting competitions here on a regular basis. I'm just waiting for the next one. Then I'm definitely going to go and we can take some video and stuff. And then I'll even interview the people. How about that? I'll interview them all and ask them, when last did you take Coriolis into account? And then we can laugh at you ballers. How's that sound? Okay. Ballers in the bush running, exactly. Okay. Hey Goldie, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Is it middle of the night? Oh, sorry man. Like I said, I wanted to do yesterday's one in the afternoon while night at me, but it's difficult because we've got load shedding. They put off the power quite a lot here these days. We're more power off than we're on. So I have to work around the schedule with the power outages. So yes, today but the Sunday morning is the early one, obviously. I'm a flat Florida. Oh, that's cool. Is Florida still very hot these days? It's good to see everybody here. 23 people. Awesome. And only 19 likes. Come on, 23 people. You can hit those likes. Please. Please just boop that like button. It really does help push the show. Thank you again, everybody, for all your support. I really, really, really do appreciate everything. If you guys have any channels that you actually that you want to give a shout out to, even your own channel, please feel free to stick your link in the description, in the comment section. I'm sure that people will be interested to sub to your channels. So yes, even if you're a baller, it doesn't matter. I'm here for you guys too. I have to say, are you guys with me that the chat is so much better without the stock accounts? To me, it feels much better. It feels more homey. How can I put it? Because the soccer accounts, I mean, what's that Brovosky guy? He literally has like 4 different soccer accounts trying to troll me the whole time, telling lies that I'm deleting accounts, deleting his comments and stuff while he's commenting. After warned, I said, I went and I banned all 4 his soccer accounts. So that's about it. Hey, DeOcculting, hey dude, glad to see you. Glad you can make it, guys. He's also got a channel. Please do go to DeOcculting. He shows some TikTok videos and stuff and talks about it and stuff, which is very cool. Definitely do subscribe to DeOcculting. I'll put his link in the description box below after the show as well. And also, like I said before, Patrick Shank, I'm going to stick his down below as well. And then Michael Kahn. He's literally, I think he's like 20 subscribers away from his 500 goal. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to Michael Kahn. 20 subs, come on. Just so he can get to his 500. Because I know how difficult it is to get to your first 500 subs. It's insanely difficult. So yes, it's good to see everybody here. Colin says, yep, get rid of them if they can't represent them. Exactly, Colin. And that's all we're going to do. From now on, I have a no tolerance policy for any of these trolls that just come in here and harass everybody. Enough is enough. I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I am really trying. 22 likes. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I really do like to see those thumbs up. Yeah, so like I said, with my PC, almost going to be here. The money should be in tomorrow in my account. Specifically, then I can order it so it can come, so I can build it up for you guys. Like I said, there's 2 different PCs I can choose from that I can build in different specs. Both have their pros and cons. I'm just waiting for Nathan to answer me which one he thinks is going to be the more stable one. To me, I think the other one that I showed him yesterday is going to be a bit better because it's a bit cheaper, than I can get a mouse and a keyboard with it, which really helps. So yeah, because at the moment I don't even have a monitor because I've got an old laptop. So I think I'm going to link it to the laptop screen, to use the laptop screen for it, or my television. We'll see how it works out. Okay. Love the policy. Glad you love the policy, Goldie. Yes, because at the end of the day, I'm here for you guys, and they were harassing you guys and me, and I just couldn't take it anymore. If you guys want to mess with my audience, well, then you're no longer welcome here. I don't care who you are. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, I'm here for you guys. Okay. Try thinking. Is Bev here? If Bev's here, hi Bev, good to see you. Haven't spoken in a while. Guys, also on the level, definitely good channel to subscribe to. They really talk about a lot of things like surveying and level, horizontal. He likes to call it bendizontal, which I think is an awesome phrase, and I'm definitely not going to steal it, so I'll leave it for him. And then also another channel to look out for is Cleary's channel and DP, Domestic Primate. They also have a channel. If you want, I got a Discord channel. The link is below in the description box. Please do go join the Discord so we can have a chat. Like I said, because when my PC is here, I'm going to look at maybe Wednesday nights to have actual open Discord chats with the audience. And then on weekends, obviously, for Patreons to talk. So it's going to be like Patreon weekends, where the Patreons can come and talk to me live like this. And then and obviously you guys can still all join in the chat, but I mean actual talking. And then on a Wednesday night, everybody is free to join on Discord server. And then also I do have a Telegram link as well for anybody that just wants to stay up to date. The Telegram link I literally just put there to show when my new show is going to start or whatever. That's about it. And then yes, and then obviously I got well, I hope there's not going to be any static. I just put my phone back on charge. It was kind of flat. Please do let me know if you do hear any static. Like I said, then I've got a merch store running at the moment, and I'm definitely got more designs coming. I'm just waiting for my PC so I can make better designs. And I've got a Bitcoin link if anybody's interested in helping, and then the Patreons obviously. So that's about it for the housekeeping stuff again. Okay, Coriolis is from, okay, let's see what he says. Arrive Enley, good to see you. Coriolis is from swirling ether over a flat motionless plane. I'm not going to really agree with that. Erod, how did you come to that conclusion though? Are you claiming that the ether is a physical thing? Because that's quite interesting. Because not everybody does ascribe to the ether though, just to let you know, and I'm more than happy to take into consideration if you have found any physical evidence for it. Because when I came into the flat earth, I did believe in the ether, and well, after a lot of research and stuff, I just came to the conclusion I couldn't physically, how can I say it, prove it. So it could be there, it could not be there. It's just overwritten. It's just how it is. What is the ether though? Nobody really knows, because everybody has different opinions of what it could be. Okay, for space around objects to exist, it must be a physical ether. Otherwise, it would not exist as concept or anything. I agree that you need propagation media for something to propagate through. But what the people say the ether is, I'm not really that certain. That's kind of a whole debate on itself. I actually think we should have an ether debate maybe on a Wednesday night, like I said, on the Discord when I do have my PC. If you are interested to come and chat with that, would you be interested? Because I would be interested to talk about the ether with you. Arif and everybody else. So you guys are more than welcome, because like I said, everybody has their own opinions on the ether and stuff, and I do not discriminate. If you believe the ether exists, that's up to you. Me personally, I believe, if I see the ether, but this is just a belief, as I say, because you cannot prove it, that I believe it's God. God is omnipresent, He's everywhere. And obviously, you cannot get rid of everything. So that could be the propagation that I call the ether. That's why I say God could be omnipresent. Ether could just be His manifestation, you can call it. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's just a belief. Whitsett is an ether prominent. Whitsett really gets it. Has prominent flat earthers and straight up. Whitsett's an awesome guy. Got nothing against him. Whitsett is more than happy to come and talk about the ether as well. Whitsett, I would actually love it if you come and talk to me. I'm definitely not going to shout at you or anything, because yes, I'm much more relaxed. And like I said, I do appreciate everybody's opinions. Everybody's got their own perspective on life. Hence my name, Flatsoid's Perspective, because this is my perspective, and I do not push my views on anybody. So whatever you guys feel, hey, we come and talk, we come to a conclusion together, and that's how we have to work together. So yeah, if you guys do get Whitsett up, and please hit him up and tell him I'll be more than happy to talk with him. My PC's up and running. Wednesday nights we're going to have Discord chats with everybody, and then it'll be good to see the different opinions and things what everybody has to talk about. Exactly, Eric. I'm happy to say I don't know. Me as well. If I don't know something, I don't know. So it's just how it is. The likelihood of the ether exceeds the globe. Exactly, that I agree. The likelihood of the ether existing far outweighs the globe model's existence. That I agree. There's much more evidence for the ether than there is for that. But can we physically demonstrate the ether at the moment? I don't know. It's debatable. Yes, Jeff, I've never seen the ether either. I don't think anybody has. Like I said, it's known as an invisible propagation media. So that's about it. I mean, I know when I first got into it, my belief of the ether, you could say, was the waters above. Everything. That's why the luminaries and everything propagates through there. And that's why when they had Aries failure and stuff, they looked, and that was my belief in it. You guys can actually see, I actually have videos on my channel based on trying to prove the ether and dielectric currents and everything. So I did dabble in this long time ago when I was starting my YouTube channel. Colin Dresser, ether is a combination of the properties of air, condensed, differentiated at higher levels. When you view through it, things can change its magnification. Also quite interesting. Yeah. I mean, how do you know there's not different densities of ether? You don't know. That's quite interesting. I mean, I would still rather say yes, there has to be an ether, because it's impossible for nature to exist without nothing. There has to be something to exist. But yes, whatever we're saying. But yes, like I said, so hopefully my computer's up and running Wednesday, then we can have a discussion Wednesday evening, because that would be great. Cool. I would like to actually have this conversation with you guys. So yeah, and I'm sure you guys will not be as scared as the anti-flat earthers to come and actually talk to me personally. When you post a notification, if you could schedule talk with Whitson. Yes, Goldie, I'll definitely talk with Whitson. And Whitson, if you're hearing this, please do get in touch with me. I do see him sometimes on Geo's channel, so I'll try and type him a message there and see if he wants to come and talk. Because I know him and Nathan have been getting hot-headed together this last few days on the ether, but yeah. I don't know much about the ether. I'm assuming it's something fourth dimensional. Excuse me. Yeah, it's so far out of our reach, I would say. Maybe there's not technology yet to prove it, I don't know. But there definitely has to be something, but provable, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it's a scientific endeavor though, because you have to actually manipulate it, and to manipulate it you have to know what it is. So yeah, my notifications are on. Cool. Globing, thank you that your notification on. Again, if anybody's in the chat and you do see any of the Glowbusters, please ask them to unblock me, because I don't know why I am blocked in the Glowbusters community for some odd reason. Don't complicate it. It just the substance space is made of light. There's swirling, mist, or water. So the propagation media. Okay, cool. So yeah, it would be great to see you to come and chat on a Wednesday night, if we do, when that's up and running. Okay. Goldie, don't tell Jeff that Flatswood is ringing your bell. Oh. Okay, this is the hour for respectable people to be in bed. Not me, but Goldie, thank you for joining. I know it's very late that side. Sorry that I'm keeping you up so late. I do appreciate you dropping by. So yes, Wednesday nights might be better for you, and like I said, on Saturdays I'm also going to try rather do it in the afternoon or evenings times, because then we can have more of a time. Because the mornings, now on Sunday morning, I try and actually do it for the other people that's awake that side of the plane, and then Saturday evenings it's usually like for this side. So we'll get it like that, because it's difficult to get everybody audience to get, because people sleep. I mean, we're all human, we have to sleep. Although I don't sleep much, but I do sleep at least. So good night. Thank you for joining, Goldie. Everybody, can't believe we're already going on 72 minutes. Really cool. Okay. How did we get onto the ether from Coriolis? Oh yes, we said that's the medium that makes everything move, I guess. So, but that would mean that if you're claiming the ether, then you're claiming Earth is spinning. But then you would be saying that you observe Coriolis then, but you don't see deflection, so therefore you're debunking your claim that the ether is moving with the Earth, if that's what I'm getting. If that's what I'm caught, you're trying to say. But what's quite interesting though is if you look at geocentrists, which there is still a lot of very well-known geocentrists out there today, they just don't get pushed as much as the heliocentrists, because they get shunned by the community, because how dare you say we are the center kind of thing. A lot of them actually also push the ether, which is quite interesting. Because yes, if you understand that it's not us moving, it's the luminaries moving, you understand why. But yeah. So anything else you guys have to want to discuss with me? I am enjoying this discussion actually quite nice. It's nice and relaxing. So yes, definitely something I enjoy discussing is definitely the ether. And Coriolis, yeah, it's quick and easy. Eric, yes, you can go buy a big ass water level for sure. What is a water level actually? Does it curve? Yesterday we actually had Ruhov conceding quite a few things on the live chat. Horizontal doesn't curve, and the ground, the sphere, has nothing to do with his elevation angle and his co-altitude angle. So, yes, they threw away the globe yesterday when they did celestial navigation. I'm definitely going to still have a conversation with Ruhov. He does want to come and talk to me sometime, so I'm more than happy to do that with him. I told him when my PC's up and running and we do that, then we can have a chat. So I think everybody will enjoy that chat with Ruhov as well. Colin Dresser, Eric, yes sir, hit me up sometime, happy to chop it up and could use some tech advice if you know anything about motors. Snowbirds, then he ran. Who ran Snowbirds? Yeah, actually he did run. He went to Discord and lumpy gas in a vacuum kept him busy for a few minutes and then he ran there as well. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, as soon as they evoke a co-altitude angle, they have to have an elevation angle, which means horizontal, which means there's no having your globe or nothing after. You take that angular measurement, 2 straight lines, which makes a triangle 90 degrees, then you have to take it and presuppose your globe to have the center to Earth. Now once you've created that center to the center of Earth, you now have your celestial sphere measurement, which means another horizontal plane through the equator. Now you've got that horizontal plane which has to be perpendicular and parallel, just the same as you on the center of, on the top of Earth. Let me try to draw it quickly, just in case you guys missed it yesterday. Okay, this is the Earth. This is the guy's horizontal elevation angle. This is his zenith. He's taken a measurement to the star. That's his co-altitude angle. Okay, elevation angle, co-altitude angle. This means this is 90 degrees. He said you do not need the globe for that. Perfect, because you did a horizontal. Then, afterwards, you have to take it to the center of Earth so you can have your radius. What happens then? This horizontal has to be parallel with that horizontal through the center of Earth. This is your celestial sphere. Understand? Horizontal. It is parallel. That's so you can have that parallel with that, your co-altitude angle. The globe comes after. All they do is they're just duplicating their angle measurement from a flat plane and then calling it a sphere angle. All they did. And Ruhov totally had to concede about that. So, thank you, Ruhov, for throwing away your globe and proving that it is just flat. Water level doesn't give a shit about what's underneath. Exactly, Eric, it doesn't. Not at all. Because level means horizontal and flat. Nothing higher or lower than the other. I'm in Mauritius. Eric, is it Mauritius or Mauritius? Where? Mauritius. I've got to look up. I think it's Mauritius or Mauritius. I don't know that name. Sorry, I haven't seen that ever before. Quite interesting. So yeah, when it comes to horizontal planes, everything seems to be based off horizontal stationary planes. Doesn't matter where you are, it's based on that. Sea level never deviates. Exactly, Colin. Sea level cannot deviate. That's the reason I have a reference datum. Mean sea level is 0. And if you can even go on Google Earth if you want, and you look at the topographical layout, you can see it's a flat baseline, and they've got the topography laid out on that flat baseline. Because that's how you measure things. You measure based on your horizontal slope angles or inclines. So it's actually stupid to take something, you've now created your horizontal reference datum, you measure a slope angle based on that and say it's curving, which is nonsense. It's just sloping away from that horizontal. Then you've got inclines on that same horizontal That's how you get your topography. That's how surveying works, actually. It's literally just based on, and then they take all those increments of measurements and link them together, and then they assume it's got a new zenith. That's why they have the zeniths that represent equal angles, because they take optical, literally optical, they think it falls away, which is just perspective, and think it's physical. It's weird how they superimpose two-dimensional shapes on a one-dimensional line, inside on the top of a globe. Maybe I'm just too much of a derp to understand. Exactly. Yes, that's why they cannot take three-dimensional, because if they have to take the sphere as a three-dimensional, they can't actually measure it in three dimensions, because they know then they have to take perspective into account. As soon as they're going to take perspective into account, there's no actual curve. It's optical. So they have to keep it in, as Nathan likes to say, Muppet vision, two-dimensional shapes, because then they have their tangents, because they can have a belief of a shape. So they throw all logic away, everything you actually observe in reality, 3 dimensions, and stick it down to two-dimensional shapes. It's just the way, it's their little magic trick, you could say, to make it the way it is. Because if they had to keep it, like I said, in 3 dimensions, then they can't say it's physical. Only in a 2-dimensional shape they can say that tangent is physical. If you have to take it back to reality, and you see, okay, I see, and I've got my perspective, it's actually having an apparent deviation, it's having an apparent drop. How are you going to put that into geometry, in 3-dimensional you can't. That's why they have to have their sphere based in 2 dimensions. That's why they can't accept when you tell them, okay, but in reality, your sphere surface is still 3-dimensional. They say, no, it's still just a sphere. They say a sphere surface is only 2-dimensional, but in reality, it's still 3-dimensional. Go and dig a hole in the ground. In reality, we live in 3 dimensions. We don't live in 2 dimensions, and they don't seem to want to catch it. Hey, Will Brax, good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Thanks for joining. No juice, please. Glad you could join. Thanks for coming. Do you guys know if the Earth is flat or not? My friend told me it's flat. Are you maybe new to the flat Earth scene? No juice, please. And yes, the Earth is definitely a horizontal stationary plane, for sure. We are all known as flat earthers because that's the easiest to, I can say, categorize that it's not a globe. For a long time, I didn't actually want to be called a flat earther because, well, it's a stationary plane. We have topography, so you can't really say it's flat because if there's a mountain, you can't say that's actually flat. It's got mountains and valleys and whatever. So I'm more than happy to be called a flat earther, but it's a horizontal stationary plane with topography. But it's easier just to say flat earth than say, listen, you're a stationary horizontal plane with topography, obviously. Hey, Professor Bell, good to see you. Glad you could come. Have you looked up the hurricanes are formed? What did they say? Yes, I did look up what hurricanes are formed, and I actually explained to you why they form, how they form, and how it debunks your globe and your Coriolis. So if you want to see that, please do go back to the beginning of the video when this is done, and you can watch again through full. That's about it. Or do you guys want me to explain again to Professor Will? Because you are having quite a cool conversation now about datums and level. For becomer, please do not forget to take your meds. Okay, so what everyone just lie about it, like World War II or something. It's not that the people are lying about it. Remember, we were all once globe believers too. No juice, please. We were all brought up in the same educational system. When you brought up, I mean, I see it with my children still the same today. They show programs on the TV. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the globe, but they'll still somehow make a story into it that the character has to climb into a rocket ship and shoot off to space or show a thing flying around a globe or whatever. Why? Because it's how it is, indoctrination. They have to push it into a narrative from a young age. This is the narrative pushed, so therefore it's taught this way, because you brought up that to believe it's true, therefore you're not going to know, you're not lying because you don't know it's a lie. So it's not actually a lie. It's just very well disguised and compartmentalized, you could say. It's only the hardcore enthusiasts like the anti-flat earthers know it's not a globe, but they have to defend it with all their might because it's a religion. It's their belief. They have to push their religion to everybody else. They do not want you to think critically. That's why when you go to school today, you are taught what to think, how to think. If you question it, we don't want you. That's the kind of things you get today. And is that logical? Not really. That's just sick, actually. There's a misunderstanding of what the flat earth means. Exactly, Kikas, there is definitely a misunderstanding of what a flat earth is. Because they see it as what's pushed with a control narrative. It's a pizza flying through space, which is no bogus. Nobody ever claims that there's some weird pizza flying around in space. Okay, so if anybody tries to push that onto you or your friends, just tell them, please, that's nonsensical. If they want to, they can come and talk to me. I'll be more than happy to try and explain it better. Okay, let's get back to what Phil Bell's trying to say. What is an official explanation? Sorry, 28 people in here, and Professor Phil is one of them. I am lucky, Eric. That's good to see everybody in here. Professor Bell, if you haven't already, please just hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so Professor Bell wants me to explain hurricanes to him. Okay, in simple terms, Professor, we live in a dynamic system. We have air currents that move along our plane, stationary plane, might add. We have topography. What happens with air and topography? It mixes. It gets colder and hotter. It's moving across. What happens when that cold and hot air mingles together over the oceans? Hot air rises, and that's because the wind is deflecting from the wind current. It's going to create a vortex. Hot air rises, well, cool air goes down. And now it creates a cyclone. Now that cyclone is getting pushed by the already moving current, air current, which is pushing it away. And that's why you get the spin to the one deflection and spin to the other deflection. And after cyclone, you get hurricane, you get the just. That's about the short of it. It's all just got to do with dynamic system. What is the official explanation? Not your opinion. That is the official explanation. Didn't you learn this in geography? I learned that in geography in school. The only difference is you guys think that hurricanes come from Coriolis, which is debunked by floating things in the sky. Why is it not deflecting? Hey India, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Yes, exactly, India. Hurricanes are not caused by Coriolis. I just explained to him the mechanics behind hurricanes. It's very simple, and you can go to any textbook you want to, any university. If you had to tell them, does heat rise, does that wind, they're going to tell you the same thing. Yes, that's why it spins. That's why you're creating cell storms, and that's why it's moving across. The belief, and to, how can I put it, pushed in is because of hurricanes is just a belief. They can put it and say it's hurricanes all you want. At the end of the day, that's not how hurricanes are formed. Hurricanes are formed by cell storms caused by temperature inversions over topography and water. So yeah, that's about it. I don't know how more simpler I can explain it to you. It's the same as tides. We live in a stationary plane. We've got topography. You've got the thermohaline currents working around. You've got different temperature inversions with the wind and everything moving the waters around. You've got electromagnetic anomalies, that magnetic waves everywhere. And it simply is not true that the moon and the sun do anything to tides, because there's some places that have 3 tides a day, some places that have no tides a day, some places that have no tides where the sun and moon are together in the day, some places where the tides and moon are there without the moon and the sun together. So it's all just nonsensical. I guarantee any university will tell you hurricanes are formed Coriolis forces. No. Phil, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They say it's Coriolis, but if you have to ask them how is it formed, and you have to tell them, okay, heat rises, correct? There is an air current coming here, correct? I can demonstrate creating a little storm current in a flippin' basin if I wanted to. Can you create that same hurricane demonstration just by spinning air around? No, because air is unbonded, Phil. You're not going to have Coriolis effect because it's an effect, not a physical force. There's no such thing as physical hurricane. So you're saying those hurricanes are spinning, but they're actually going straight. That's what you're trying to tell me. So yes, that's about it. Alright, yes, you said that. Definitely want to talk to you further about that if you can, or maybe Wednesday night if I do have my PC up and running. Then please do join the Discord server if you haven't already. Kick-Ass, do you have the Discord servers link? I don't think you're on the Discord though. Must have known exam later. He's cramming for answer. Yeah, there's a lot of things that Phil says that I question. I mean, yeah. No university will say that hurricanes are caused by heat rising. Is that so, Professor Phil? No okay. I think I will cut the segment out and make a video just for Phil. Phil, I will put here for you, see here, how a hurricane is formed. And then we're going to put your comment here, where you say, no university will say that it's formed by heat rising. Okay, I will do that just for you, Professor Phil. Yes. It's like you've been telling in my class, gravity. Yeah. It's actually sad, Professor Phil, that you still believe your actual nonsense you're punting. No Jews, please. Did the Jews make up the globe stuff too, or did just someone else make up stories like time? I don't know. Please don't bring any Jews or anything into. Hey, Globebusters. Hey, Bob. Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. I'm not sure. I think maybe you unblocked me on your chats, but I see I'm still on Good Time for All and Wits, and I'm still blocked for some reason. I don't know why. Thanks for joining, Bob. I was saying I actually want to have a discussion with Witsit sometime about the ether. I was thinking maybe Wednesday night if my PC's up and running, because that'd be quite a cool chat to have about. So yeah, thanks for joining. If you guys haven't already, do subscribe to Bob. They do bring out cool content as well. Yeah. So thanks for joining. It's good to see 25 people in here. I got more likes than people. That's quite cool. Okay, so yes, we did touch up on the Coriolis a bit, and hurricanes, and even Faraday cages. We also did touch up on why we would see different measurements with altitude, and yeah. Awesome, thanks Bob, I do appreciate it, you guys rock. Then we can get together and chat a bit, that'll be cool. Yeah, because like I said, at the end of the day, we must all work together. Everybody has different opinions. I know people have different opinions together with everything, but I really want us to work together. If we can't work together, then what's the use? I mean, we still have different opinions. We can work together, we chat civilly, and we go together and we work together. I'm repeating myself. Bob's content is good. He measured the Earth's rotation multiple times. No, he didn't measure any rotation of the Earth, WS. Just because you didn't understand what was going on doesn't mean you measured any Earth rotation. Okay, hey Jolly Man, good to see you. I was shouting you out on Good Times for All's video last night, but yeah, I was still blocked, so I don't think you saw it, but it's good to see you, dude. What does all universities say about the cause of Foucault pendulum drift? There is no Foucault pendulum drift, Professor. Well, maybe you didn't see Mitchell from Australia's video a few days back. Actually, you did, because I think you were on Mr. Sensible's video to see on his chat. I think you saw that there was no drift. And I can attest to that because I am in South Africa, and I think we got 4 Foucault pendulums around South Africa, and not one of them have ever shown drift when they do actually work. So, yeah. I agree, Bob. WS is just one of those globe parators that just don't actually bring anything to the table. Kevlar, what does all the universities say? You want to try that again, Professor? Hey, Ruhaf, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Yahoo T minus, how much days till the new computer? I don't know. Like I said, my money should be in tomorrow, hopefully, or Tuesday the latest. Then I can order it. Like I said, at least they got I found out they got a place close to me, so I don't have to wait all the way from Cape Town for it to come to me, because that's quite a far distance. So hopefully by Wednesday I would have the PC. I'm highly doubting that, but by the weekend I should have the PC up and running. Then we can start having chats, because I definitely want to talk to Ruhaf. I'm sure he wants to as well. Yeah. Yeah, Ruth, today I decided to just use normal, no apps. I'm just using the ordinary YouTube live function today. The only difference is I can't see any of your chats really showing up. So it's I have to look on my very slow laptop and see it in back time. So it's difficult. I have to like read your comments here and then talk this. So it looks like I'm squint or something. University means one voice. If they say anything different, they get sacked. Yes, there's been how much people that actually get taken out of university and stuff and get laughed at just because they question things. I mean, look at, I don't know if you guys know that guy that's against evolution. I can't think of his name. It's a South African professor. He's a Seventh-day Adventist actually. Now I can't really think of his name, but anyway, he taught evolution for many, many years. And when he finally came and he did his actual self-research that the universities and things weren't teaching, he came to the conclusion, because of whales, that evolution was false. He brought it up to the board and they ended up sacking him. They fired him for that. They fired him for teaching evolution is wrong, because he brought actual evidence that it could not exist. What does that tell you? It just tells you they got their own religion and they want to push their religion. Doesn't matter what happens, they have to push their religion. Okay. Why is the amount of gravitational acceleration proportional to your latitude? For Bell, what is gravitational acceleration? There's no such thing as gravity. You need a force, remember? Is gravity a force again? I thought gravity wasn't a force, so what acceleration have you got? We do measure different accelerations based on static potential, because there's electromagnetic pulses around the Earth. But according to gravity, there's no such thing as gravity. Sorry to burst your bubble. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, if you have to change altitude, you're going to see there's measurable difference in static potential energies. So that's why you get different accelerations. Okay, at Jeff, okay, Professor Bilbao, at Jeff, a professor is allowed to teach what they like, providing that they suggest. I just showed you wrong, Professor Bilbao. Someone actually taught against evolution because they showed evidence was false and actually got sacked for it. They actually had to go through a whole rigmarole just to get reinstated. Do you understand that? They told him, they fired him because he wasn't teaching the curriculum they provided. What do you think Common Core is? Walter Vaith. There you go. Thanks, Kikas. That was the name. I was looking for it. Walter Vaith. If you guys haven't looked up his name, just go and look it up. Brilliant when it comes to evolution, because that's just evidence alone that Professor Bell doesn't know what he's talking about. You cannot teach what you want. It's called Common Core for a reason. It's called a curriculum for a reason. I know, I was one of the guinea pigs when it came in South Africa, from when I started with grade 8, standard 6, trying to work out new curriculums with us. Every year we learnt different things. What I learnt last year was wrong. This year was new. And it went like that. It was kind of messed up. You met Walter. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, he's quite a legend. He's a very nice guy. So definitely someone to go and look up if you haven't heard of him. Whatever you think causes the acceleration, why is the magnitude of acceleration proportional to latitude? I told you, because you have different properties and magnitude of static potential. Did you not listen, Professor? Simple. You got denser medium and you got less dense medium. You needed to get released the energy, and that's where the static potential comes in, and that's why you get your acceleration. And the reason you have different amounts of acceleration is due to the release at different latitudes because of the magnetic fields. Proven and demonstrated by multiple people. Gravity, on the other hand, is just taking that and calling it gravity, in other words, hijacking it, because gravity is a belief that just shows cannot be true. Gravity is not a force, remember, Phil? So, no force, no acceleration. You require force, you have acceleration. That's why we have a force. That's why when I say relative density disequilibrium, it has a force, because of the static potential. Okay. Kevlar, if Flatweight can't answer that question properly, tusk globe. Yeah, exactly. But it's good to see you guys all in here. I really do enjoy you guys coming in. Different densities require more weight to achieve their free fall. Exactly. I mean, you understand, if it's more dense, it's going to require more energy to move. So thus, it's also going to have a different effect of acceleration compared to something that's less dense. Walter White don't take a flat earth position, but he stated recently that the cosmology we're taught is completely false. Exactly. He's getting into the rhythm of understanding, but I mean, like I said, once you understand just evolution alone is wrong, what else are you taught that is wrong? Professor Phil Bell, so you think static potential changes with latitude? What evidence, why should latitude make a difference? Yes, it does change with latitude. It changes with altitude as well. I was trying to ask Mr. Sensible, because he's doing the Mage 3 balloon, if he would actually put something up there that can measure it while he's going up with altitude. So let's hope he's actually going to be able to do that, because if he does, then you guys are going to have quite a crying time. Because, Mr. Sensible, if you are listening to this, please do something up so you can actually read the different static potentials as you rise in altitude, because then it shows your gravity is just hijacked. That's all I can say. And no, latitude and longitude is simply just a grid system, by the way, Professor. It's not physical. It's a grid system, if you haven't noticed that. Okay. Globusters at Ruif. There is a lot of math tutors out there. Perhaps you could seek their counsel. Bob, I'm not sure if you watched my live stream yesterday, but Ruif actually went and he conceded that we have to use a horizontal plane when taking a co-angular measurement. I drew it on the stream as well, so after the stream maybe go back and you can look at it. I can't get a timestamp now, but I actually drew what he said on there. I'm going to be making a video of it because it's quite cool. It's quite a cool concession, let's put it that way. Kevlar, globe evidence equals circa 2017 computer generated images. Exactly, it's all just images. There's no such thing as a picture of Earth. It's all generated images. I mean, I was a graphic designer for 10 years, so yes, I definitely know a generated image when I see it. I'm not blind. The Scape Kid, Globus says, if there were people out there, go ahead, give counsel to you on gaining the online integrity. You know, you guys don't have to be mean to everybody in the chat. If you guys don't have the same opinion as someone, you don't have to literally try and attack their character. That's one thing I've realized, especially from your anti-flat earthers. You like to attack someone's character just because they don't have the same opinion as you. And that's really, it's sad. WS. Globusters, no, it rotates, he measured it. No, again, I just explained to you, he didn't measure rotation of Earth. Okay? Ruif knows it's flat, this is his job. Exactly, Bob. Ruif does know it's flat. He knows it with all these anti-flat earthers know it's flat. They have to preach their religion to the rest of us. That's why they're constantly on our channels to try and preach their religion while contradicting their globe. That's how it works. Globebusters, I really enjoyed the discussion with Wheeler. Thanks. Ken Wheeler. Yeah, I thought you said Jen Wheeler. I was like, what? No, it's Ken Wheeler. Yeah. Ken Wheeler. Sometimes he has very good explanations on things, but he's also got some warped perceptions on things. So I don't really agree with him on everything, but sometimes he does make sense. What does the gyro in a plane measure? Free space. It just keeps it rigid in space. That's what a gyro is. It doesn't actually measure. A gyro is there to keep you in free space. Yeah. The latitudinal areas where a mountain is present has a higher altitude at that location. True, Jolly Man. Very, very true. They think in 2 dimensions, remember? They can't think in 3 dimensions. Because if they had to think in 3 dimensions with any of their arguments, it's going to fall flat. Because at the end of the day, it's first based off a flat and then given their sphere belief. Yeah, Bob, I would really like to come and chat by you guys sometime as well. It would be really cool. I think we can have quite interesting conversations. A fiber optic gyro measures rotation. No, a fiber optic gyro measures the light travel, and it proves that there's no one-way speed of light. When you bring it up, you're just proving that you do not have a one-way speed of light, and you're proving Earth does not rotate. You are proving it's the propagation that moves around. Some of them know it's flat, and they try to teach it's globe anyway. Yes. No, Juice. Unfortunately, you get disingenuous people these days. If you be getting a paid salary to be a professor to teach something, even though you don't believe it, you get some people that don't have the integrity to say, listen, yeah, I can't get it over my heart to teach these people a lie. They will still teach it to them because that's their job. They get paid to do it. So they either decide, listen, yeah, I'm too scared to get out of it, and thus it takes my livelihood away, or they just try and ignore it because they say, okay, I have to because I am getting paid to do it. It's my livelihood. I get paid to do it. But then you get some people that are just say, hey, hang on, I have integrity. I can't put it over my heart to go and teach someone if I know it's a lie. And thus, you get so much people getting sacked from their jobs and stuff because they show they work for a bigot society. That is just it. If you don't understand what a bigot is, it's simply, hey, you're wrong because you have a different opinion than me, and I'm going to make fun of you for it. That's practically what bigotry is. So that's why you get so much people that get sacked from their jobs because they are not having the same opinion as that person with their job. Okay, well, I'm probably going to have to start saying bye because it is 8 o'clock here now. I have to make some breakfast for the children. I said I'm going to make some nice eggs and bacon for my wife now. So thank you all for joining. I do appreciate the time we spent together. I'll keep you guys updated on the videos, on my computer coming and everything. Thanks again for everybody that supported. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You guys are all really awesome. I'll definitely be keeping up to date on Rua's thing as well, and that little video for the hurricanes just for Professor Bell. So keep it real. Till next time, God bless. Cheers. Well, how do I stop this now? Bye.